Hey, this is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out on the road again. Yeah, what am I riding today? I am riding the Wired Cruiser. Yeah, but I'm not riding it fast. Yeah, I set it for Class 2 operation. And the reason I did this is one of our subscribers, Richard Kearney, you should check out his channel as well. He asked me, hey Russ, you know, when you did that hill test, you were still set up for the fastest possibility out of this bike. What would the Wire do if it wasn't set up for that? What if it was set up for Class 2? Yeah, good question. Good question. Now, I do know that if you set it up for Class 2 to go over there, it's going to go over it with a certain amount of speed, right? Because Class 2 is 20 miles an hour, and right now I'm throttling full blast right now, and I can feel it limit me. I hit 21 miles an hour, then it just dropped me back again. And I have it up for a slow startup too. Now, I don't want to change everything all the way down, because I actually set up I didn't set it up. Steven, who is the CEO of Wired, set it up for me. We set it up the pedal assist levels at a different setting than they normally are. They're usually set for like 20, 40, 60, 80, 100%. We knocked that down simply because if you unlock this bike and if you have it set for 20, 40, 60, 80, 100% on your pedal assist levels, you're going to be flying when you're pedaling, and we don't want to do that. And I also have the let me slow down here a little bit. I also have the throttle set to follow whatever the pedal assist is set for right now. So for me to get full power, I would have to be at pedal assist level 5. But again, I know pedal assist level 5 is not set for 100%. I think I have to change that in order for us to do a fair test of what it would be like if this bike came straight out of the factory at Class 2. We'll do that when we get closer to the hill. How's that? Right now I'm set for Class 2, but at the slower pedal assist speeds. And of course that means my throttle is coming up really slow too, even on full blast at pedal assist level 5. So it's really not a true test if I leave it that way. I actually have to make some modifications to the bike to do it. And then I was thinking about, you know, the things on the display screen, you know. Let me see if I can angle down a little bit, but not too much. I was thinking, what if, let's turn here. What if I showed you all the stuff that's on the display screen as far as the advanced functions? You know what? I don't even think I really even need to do that. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's so easy to change settings on here that you might not even need my help to do it. Yeah, if you bought this bike, I think you could figure it out. All you have to do is hold the plus and minus buttons on the pedal assist. Hold those two together for, I don't know, several seconds. It'll bring you into the advanced functions, and then it's all in English. It's not actually it's not like P settings. You know what I'm talking about for P settings? Some of these display screens, you'll say P1, P2, P3. Who knows what those things are? Nobody knows what that stuff means. Unless you memorize it. No one's going to do that. This stuff is set up in English, okay? So it'll say advanced settings, and it'll tell you speed limit to this, do that, you know. So it's not hard. Morning. It's not hard to see what you need to do. So anyway, I decided today I'm going to take us out and let's do that. That request came from him quite a few days ago. I just have been tied up doing other things, doing reviews and the like. I said, no, let's get it done with, because if I don't do it, I'm going to forget to do it. You know, they cut down all of the weeds in this area, so it looks really nice out here right now as far as no tall weeds. I did a review recently. If you haven't seen it, go take a look at it. I did the Electric XP 3.0 review out here. Yeah. Might look a little different to you too. Let me tell you real quickly what I did. I recorded it on a different camera. I'm recording this on a different camera too. I recorded it on the new DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro camera. Yeah, that's definitely a different camera. I'll hit the bell there, let her know they're coming. And yeah, I got some comments about that camera. Some good and bad about it. But so I recorded it on that, and then I also shot it at 4K, as I usually do, but instead of 24 frames a second and instead of 30 frames a second, I shot it at 60 frames a second, which I'm doing right now as well. Now, some people will say 60 frames a second doesn't look realistic. It looks more video-ish. Yeah, it doesn't have that film type of look to it, right? But man, it's really sharp. Let me know in the comments if you think that video and this one looks better at 60 frames a second. If you do, I'll continue shooting at 60 frames a second. If you don't think it's a big deal, I'm going to drop down to 30 frames a second, okay? And the reason is because 60 frames a second doubles my time, almost doubles my time in rendering the video in Final Cut Pro. And it also doubles my time uploading it to the internet for YouTube. So it's more effort on my part, but if you like the look, I'll do it, okay? Now, I was hesitant in the past of doing stuff like that because I had a slower computer. But now that I have a new computer, it renders quicker, and I can use my older MacBook Pro to upload the video while I'm still functioning and doing other things on the new computer. So yeah, let me know if you like the 60 frames a second, if you like this look. Put a comment below and tell me. If I don't hear from anybody, yeah, we're going back down to 30. All right. So I want to find out if it's worth it for everybody if we do this. All right, let's hit the light thing here. Make sure everyone stops. Yep, they do. So we say thank you to them and cross over. Now it is cold today. It's sitting at about 60 degrees. I have my long sleeves on. I have my full gloves on. Got my yellow jacket, my yellow safety vest, I should say, on. Got my XWing helmet on. I don't have the ear pads on yet. I think I'll put that on if it gets closer to 50 degrees. All right, we got to get these geese out of the way. Oh, they're out of the way. How do you like that? They kind of moved out of the way when they saw this big bike coming towards them. Sometimes they don't move, folks. They just hang around. They'll honk at you, too. So anyways, let me know if the look is what you like, and then maybe we'll make that modification do 60 frames a second. It's more effort in terms of upload and processing time, but in terms of editing time, same amount of effort. Yeah, it doesn't take that much effort in that part of it. I don't edit that much anyways, as you know. I just put what I need to put, and I make mistakes, and I leave mistakes in there. I don't care. People know I don't care. Russ is lazy. I told you guys that. All right, I'm going to try to find a here. Let's stop over here. Let's make our modifications before we get to the hill, because it's nice and shady. It might be easier to see. Yeah, man, I'm so close. Let me angle down. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the two buttons together. Probably can't do it with the gloves on or something. Let me take the gloves off. because I'm not getting the response I need. Do it again. Shows something blinking right now. Oh, maybe the set button? Let's do the set button, sorry. Yeah, it's the set button. It's not the the plus and minus buttons. Hit the set button, and then let's go to advanced set right here. All right, so I had it set for class 2, right? It says yes or no. Yes, we want class 2. Speed limit. Now we're not going to limit it because it's going to be straight class 2 anyway. Let me see. Throttle follow. Let's say no. How do we change that? Whoop. Throttle follow. Plus and minus button to adjust. No, it's not letting me follow. I guess maybe not an option on class 2. Yeah, it's not an option on class 2. Anyways, let me show you real quickly here. If I wanted to take it out of class 2 and then unlock it, you go to the class 2 setting and you say no class 2. See, if you go to no, class 2, we're going to say yes at this point because we want class 2. Then it will unlock it. Return, and let's go back to exit here. Whoops, too far. Back up. Set. All right, now we're back here. Yeah, apparently I cannot change that. All right, well, whatever. It is what it is. Let's move you back up here. All right, so we're still set at class 2. So we'll see how it goes, whatever it is. I'm going to try to angle down a little bit. I don't know, can you see the... it's hard for me to tell what you see. I think if I angle a little bit like this, you might be able to see the screen as I'm going over the hill too, and maybe seeing part of the hill. It's hard to say because it's on my chest. I can't see anything. I have to take a best guess. That's all I can do. But it is angled down just a little bit more than I typically would. The thing is, if I angle it all the way down, you'll see it, but then you don't see any of the forward view. So, all right, we'll take our chances, see how it goes. I got a bunch of other stuff to tell you guys today too, but let's take this test real quickly. But I don't think it'll be exactly what we expect. Okay, this guy's stopping, letting me go through. So I will go through. Hey, Russ, it said stop. Hey, the guy's sitting there waiting for me to go past. This is what happens a lot of times. Cars are sitting there, they wait for you to pass anyway, so are you gonna stop and make him wait longer? No, I just kind of keep going. So, all right, coming up to the bridge. So what we do is we stop at the bridge, and then we throttle only going over the hill, right? All right, so let's stop at the bridge here. All right, dead stop. It's at 0, here we go. So full throttle, pedal assist level 5, class 2 setting, whatever it is what it is, all right? So we're doing 18 miles an hour, 18.2. It's gonna start slowing down, as you know. All right, 17.8. It's going up the hill. 15, 13, 12.8, 12.4, 10, 9, 8, 8.3, 8.3. You know what? What did we do last time? 20-something miles an hour or something? I'll have to look it up. I'll put a graphic up there, let you know. Let me move back here. All right. Let's stop here for a second. I'm going to unlock it. I'm not going to go back up and do it again. There's people on the path. So let me change my... let me change this thing here. Clear all this stuff out of here. Okay, so back again. Speed setting, now let's return. Oh, I'm going too far. Can you guys see that? Let me angle down a little bit more. return, set. No, I keep doing that. I keep pushing the wrong buttons here. Let's go back. Return plus, minus. Okay, advanced set. And class 2, we're going to say no. Set that. That should, let's see, speed limit. I still have it at 99 kilometers per hour, which means I'm unlocked fully. All right, wheel size, light mode, we can skip all that. Speed, throttle follow, no. So it should be doing it. Start strength is at 2. I do this on purpose. I don't want this thing kicking on me too fast. Let's just go to return. And, oops. And then exit. Here we go. So we should be back to unlocked at this point. All right, we are unlocked. Oh yeah, they were definitely unlocked. We're not gonna go really fast, but man, that thing picked up really quick. So there you have it. If you're in class 2, yeah, it's kind of a really slow. What do you expect, right? Slow down for the dog. I don't want to run into the dog. Yeah, it was really slow. So, yeah, the thing is if you slow down to class 2, you've got a heavy bike you're pulling up now, all right? Although it's a bigger motor and all that, you have to remember too, they claim 750 watt motor for class 2. Yeah, I would have to say it truly is 750. Because it didn't have any power pulling this over the hill in comparison. It was kind of a slug coming over the hill compared to what I expected it will be, right? So that kind of proves a couple things, that when they claim 750 watts, class 2, 20 miles per hour, they have a sticker on their bike. I would say, yeah, it's 750, 20 miles an hour. It is class 2. Now, it's kind of hard to say that because you know that the motor is, what is it, something like 1500 watts at 3200 watts or something like that at peak. That only happens when you unlock it. Yeah, if you don't unlock it, it stays at around 750. I mean, it's pretty much proof right there. So if you want to buy this bike and leave it at class 2, you can do it. Or if you're going into the forest preserves or whatever and you want to leave it at class 2, you can do it. All right, we're not going to go to the forest preserves. We're going to turn right again here. This is the only bike I've ever done this with where I've actually turned right. Because, you know, going on this street is not the greatest thing in the world to do if you don't have a fast enough bike. But again, I'm not going to go 45 miles an hour here, or 40 miles an hour. I'm going to make sure cars are clear first before I move forward. Make sure there's no cars. And then I'm going to just turn down this first street I can turn down on. Now there's a side section I could do it, but you know, why risk it? There's no reason to risk yourself. I'll just wait till the cars are clear. All right, this is clear enough right here. All right, we're gonna still stay on the side here, but we're gonna go a little bit quicker. Where are we at now? 29 miles an hour, no outlet, so I can't take that. 31. I'm not going to go 40 or something. I'm just going to stay around 30. And then we'll get off of this as fast as we can get off of it. You know, last time I did this, I did like 39.8 miles an hour down here. Yeah, you don't have to do that. All right, let's turn here. Nope, can't turn here either. What's up with this thing? I gotta keep going, man. I got no option. Okay, I gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. We gotta stay on this side here. I'm trying to find a way to get off of this, and I can't find a way to get off of it. All right, well, no choice. Now we're keeping up with the cars. They're doing about 30. Let's put the arm out, let them know I'm turning right. I'm gonna take a right-hand turn here. Yeah, that's not fun being, I mean, even though I know I had the ability to do it, it's not fun being on there. Not when you know these cars are coming down hard on you. Kind of windy right now too, by the way. Now, this is a good test. As I told you guys, I've got a new camera on. This is the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro camera. And I have the wireless mic that DJI makes, the Mic 2. I have that Bluetooth to the camera. So there's no wires or anything like that. I've got the windscreen on it. Being a little windy and everything, it's a good test to see if that windscreen really helps a lot or it doesn't. And I did the entire Electric XP review. Excuse me, I'm burping up all this stuff here. I did the review with that mic and with that camera. Sounded pretty good, but I was on areas where the let's turn here, where there wasn't a whole lot of cars. Being on Dundee, where we just were on, there's cars there. I want to know how loud that is using this mic. I kind of thought that the mic sounded pretty good in rejecting some of the background noises, you know, at the time, but we'll know for sure for this one. I don't know why, because it didn't really do as well when we had it sending to the transmitter, sending to the receiver part of the wireless mic, and then the receiver sending to the GoPro. It wasn't as good, in my opinion, but it wasn't so bad on that review video. We'll see how it is on this one. Now, I did do some changes to the frequency response of the mic. It was updated to the most recent software, of course, and I guess, did they call that software? Firmware update, sorry. And but it still didn't sound quite as clear to me. So what I did is I bumped up 2K and 4K very little, maybe like 2 dB, 2.5 dB bump up there, give it a little extra clarity on the top end. And that's what I did. So I'll probably do that again this time, give it more clarity. But if this works, then maybe I could eventually eliminate using the microphone that's usually clipped on my visor. That's the Shure lavalier mic, and then I have to use that external recorder and everything. It's just that with all that stuff hanging on you, you just feel so loaded down with gear. This way I could just grab and go. I mean, it's pretty fast, really. I mean, getting back on this bike quickly, it was pretty easy for me to do that. So I'm hoping it works. Now, here's the other issue I have with this camera, right? I know we're talking technical again, but there's a lot of you guys have been asking me about equipment, and so you might be looking at this new DJI camera, because you could replace the GoPro with it, because it's kind of like the same form factor. The GoPro came out with their new Hero 13, so they both came out at the same time. I had an option to either upgrade to the 13 or switch to a different brand. So I opted to switch to a different brand. But here's the one thing I had never seen anyone talk about on these reviews of this camera. It's got lens flare. You know what lens flare is? When the sun hits it at the right angle, you get all these like circular things and long lines that are like greenish tinted. At least on this one it is, it's green. And that's basically lens flare. So what it is glare off of the glass. So now there's a protective filter, clear filter on here. If you have that on, then your camera's waterproof and all that stuff. But if you leave it on, the lens flare is even worse. So I took it off. So right now, nothing's protecting the lens itself because there's no filter in front of it. But when I did that, it eliminated a good chunk of the lens flare, but there's still lens flare. If you hit the right angle, you'll still have it, okay? So what time is it right now? It's 11:27. So I'm looking at the sun. It's not directly overhead. It's a little bit on an angle to my right. I don't know if we'll get the lens flare or we don't. So I want to look at it again on this one. Now, when I did the electric review, it was around the same basic timing. I didn't see any flare at all. Now, it's a possibility that other people who reviewed this camera never took it out at the correct time to get lens flare, but the very first time I used it, I took out the electric XP for the first 9 miles of riding, just to ride around a little bit and to test out the camera. The lens flare is so bad that it's not just like a subtle thing. It's a dark green line that came across the upper right side. It probably extended a good 30% into the frame of the view. Yeah, a long green line. It kind of had a little bit of a bell to it. Like, people call it a trumpet. Yeah, think about the old medieval times trumpets. Think about those trumpets. A really long thing and then a bell horn, right? It looked like that. It was awful. I says, I can't use a camera like that. I ride at all times of the day. I can't risk having that or not. So now I was in a dilemma. Do I keep this camera or do I get rid of it? Or is it just that this particular model or this particular unit has a bad lens and it accentuates the flare? I don't know. So right now I'm riding without that filter. The thing is, I don't go underwater. The only issue I would have with it is if it starts to rain on me, I don't have water protection in front of the lens. Or if dirt and dust fly up against the lens, you know, there's nothing protecting the lens. So, but here's the thing. I like the look of the camera. The highlights don't seem to blow out. Like a lot of times, like, okay, like if you look over here on the street, you'll see there's shadows from the leaves. There goes a bus. We'll see if that picks up loud or not. The shadow from the leaves, and then you see a clearer view of the street here. A lot of times I'd see that street would look blown out. It'd just be all whitewashed. That's what my GoPro Hero 10 would do. So I noticed less of that on this camera. It seems to handle the highlights a lot better. I did drop down the exposure values to a negative 0.3. I do that also for my GoPro. I drop it down. It's either I think it's like negative 0.3 or negative 0. Whatever the next 1/3 would be, 66. I don't know what it would be. And then I make up for the difference in post-production, but I figured, well, 0.3 is not that much, but maybe it'll help a little bit in highlight areas, so I dropped that down. The colors look really good. Yeah, the colors look really good. I still have to do a little bit of color grading in the post-production of things just to make things look better. I don't use their, well, I don't know what they call that, D-Log or whatever the setting is, where it's totally flat and then you have to color grade everything. I don't do that. It's just too much effort. So I leave it at their standard color grading settings, and then I fix up what I need to fix up. And I already know what I need to do. So overall, I think the colors look good. I've seen samples of where people have done vlogs where they're facing themselves, you know, the camera's facing them. On the GoPro, you know, every pore and every look of that person, let's turn here, is so accentuated that you don't look that good. Yeah, looks like you need makeup or something. But on this camera, it smooths it out a little bit. Yeah. So I was thinking, yeah, for vlogging, it's not that bad. I don't do that much vlogging, as you know, but on occasion you do see me. The indoor stuff looks really good. It has a lot better low light capability, so I would be able to use it for other things other than just action shots here on these e-bike videos. And the fact that I could connect up my audio quickly without that extra audio recorder and the cable and the lavalier mic and all that, it just makes life a lot easier. So I want it to work, but I sure hate that lens flare. Now, like I said, it only happens if you hit the right time of the day with the sun at the right angle to create it. And you know, being an outside thing that we do since we ride bikes, it's a major factor for me, whether it's something to keep or not. Now, the alternative is just to continue to do things with the GoPro and then just use this camera for everything other than action stuff. But then what was the point of it all, right? All right, this is really noisy. The guy's got his leaf blower going. Of course, he was still blowing it as I was going past it, so now all that stuff is in my eyes. Most of the guys doing stuff would stop if they saw someone coming, but I don't think he knew I was coming. Yeah. And I don't need chopped up leaves in my eyeballs. That's not fun. So let's bring down the pedal assist level here to maybe assist level 1 as I'm pedaling. Yeah, interesting part is you know, my Shimano SIS shifter sitting at gear 5, still giving me 23 miles an hour. Let's see, assist level 1. Let's go all the way down here. Yeah, okay. Now it slowed me down a little bit. Yeah, so you want to pedal. Yeah, don't leave it at the setting they originally had. You're gonna have to change those settings. I don't know what he did it at. It was like 10%, 20%, 30%, something like that. I mean, he went way down. If you didn't change that and you unlocked it, you know, you'd be flying while you're pedaling. This is a cadence sensor bike, remember that too. So that's the news for the camera. And let me know this time, okay? Put a comment. If you don't normally put a comment this time. I need to know from you guys. Does the 60 frames a second make it worth looking at it that way? Do you like the look of it? Should we drop down to 30? Many of the videos were at 30, but somehow it was rendering out at 24. But I changed the intro, which you noticed. It seems to pick up the frames per second based on the first thing it sees, and that intro was always shot at like 24 frames a second. And so even if I shot this at 60, it would render it at 24 frames a second. So I had to create a new intro that was shot at 60 frames a second. And so then it knows everything should go forward at 60 frames a second, and it'll render it out that way. I had one set for 30 frames a second too, but I wanted to see what 60 does. See, the thing is, if I leave it at 60, here's why I kind of liked it at 60. If you move the camera around really fast, you know, like if you're doing vlogging, it doesn't look like everything's blurring as you're moving it. It looks a lot cleaner. And if you want to do slow motion stuff, it's easier to do at slow motion at 60 than it is at 30. But moving the camera quickly, like if you just panned somewhere else, pan to one side to the other side. Let's turn here. I wouldn't have to worry about it if it sits at 60, okay? But you pay the price, right? You're shooting 60 images in every second. That's how it creates a video, right? It's actually stop shots that are put together to create a motion. That's how it works. So 60 frames a second, you know, doesn't seem to blur as much. So put a comment, let me know. Is it worth it to you as a viewer or not? Or am I wasting my time? I don't want to waste my time, but I will leave it there if everyone says that they like the look. Okay. All right, folks, that's about all I have for you guys for today. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Put a comment below. I'll talk to you guys next time.